What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to KissTalk podcast. I'm your host, Summer Nicole. And I mean, my guest right now, he really don't need an introduction because he's just that great. Like, he's an investor, businessman, he's a director. He just takes over the production and directing, all of that. He just takes over that industry so well. And I just want to introduce you to Alpha Male Visuals.
Hey. What's going on, Summer? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me here today, man, to come talk to y'all.
I just feel great having you on the couch today. Like, I mean,
Hey,
I got Alpha Male Visuals here.
Hey, man, just call me Roger. Roger Alexander.
Roger, I call you Roger, but
Right.
everybody else, I don't know. They know you as Alpha Male.
Well, I do more than just the production company. So, now it's like, because I'm in different sectors, I'm just like, just call me Roger, bro.
Yeah.
And then if I'm working the production, what I'm saying, then, that's all the paperwork stuff. But
yeah,
I'm cool. I'm Roger.
So tell me, how did you come up with the name Alpha Male Visuals? Like, what made you say Alpha Male Visuals?
So it's a few things. The first would be, anybody who's starting a business understands how hard it is to like get the ball rolling, right? Mm-hmm. So one of my early strategies was, I pledged Alpha Phi Alpha when I was in college.
Okay.
So one of my early strategies was, all right, bet when I start my business, some of the first people that I'm gonna hit up to like try to do commercials or try to do projects are like other people in the Divine Nine, other people who pledged fraternities and sororities, because we kind of have this, like, after you graduate, it's kind of like when you go out into the real world, you see somebody else that pledged, you kind of have like a connection. Yeah. Because it's like there's a certain culture that we understand that people who didn't pledge might not have been a part of. So you kind of like show favor to other people who are part of either, especially your organization or another organization. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of something with me. It's like, all right, bet I'm going to target these Divine Nine members that have their own businesses, and I'm gonna hit them up and try to start doing some commercials, whatever. And so part of the strategy was, all right, it'd be clever to put Alpha in the name of my business. And so at first it was gonna be like Alpha Productions or something like that, but like all those names were taken. Mm-hmm. And then like the Alpha Male Visuals, just kind of, it was one of the options on the list, and I was like, oh, this works. So then you start talking to people, and then they find out that you're an alpha, and they're like, oh shit, they make the connection.
So it's a conversation piece.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the second part of it was just kind of how I was raised from my parents, and kind of what they instilled in me was like, no matter what it is that you do, try to be the best at whatever that is. So it was like, even if you're going to be a janitor or a trash man or whatever, like, you be the best janitor in the state of Texas, or at least try to be, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a more of a mindset thing. Like, for example, when I was playing football, like, I was good, but I wasn't no All-American, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't going to the NFL, but I was that guy that was like staying after practice, putting in extra reps after everybody else had left, because I'm trying to give everything that I can at that particular position to try to be the best. Now, whether or not I became the best is a different story, but it's striving for that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's that idea of like striving to be the best in whatever field that you're in. And, wherever you fall in the results is where you fall, but it's a mindset thing. So the alpha comes from that. And then the last thing, I know I'm giving you a lot of stuff right now, but the last thing is it's kind of it's a marketing gimmick. So like when people hear that name, it elicits a response out of them, like Alpha Male Visual. So you got people who are like, oh, you think you Alpha Male, but it makes people ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Like if the name of my company was Water Bottle Visuals, you know what I'm saying? Like it's different. It's different. But when you hear that name, people are like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Let me see. So it starts conversations, and it gets people asking questions. And from a marketing standpoint, once they're already asking you questions about your business, you kind of already got them hooked, because now I give them an answer of basically what I just explained to you. And so now they have a story connected to the name itself, as opposed to just being a name. And so once they have more information and stuff like that, you're kind of already halfway there as far as marketing your brand.
I like that. So you said you pledged in college. What college did you go to?
So I went to Truman State University, which is in Missouri. It's like the middle of nowhere. But they was giving out scholarships, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, let me go ahead and take this free money real quick.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was up there playing football at the same time. But I always got to tell people, like, I was 75% academic scholarship and the rest was football. 'Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to put it, because I'm not like the dumb jock. You know, they try to put that on you. It's like, nah, I work for my shit.
So you didn't cheat.
I ain't cheat. I work for my shit. You know what I'm saying?
All right, all right. So what was your major like? Because I had to ask you this because, I mean, you are extremely well with marketing. Did you take any marketing classes or training in school?
I did actually. So I was a business major with a marketing concentration. And so a lot of the stuff you don't even really use for real, but like marketing was a thing where it was like, yo, I know no matter what I do, I can apply this to my business or whatever field that I go in. It's universal. So
Yeah.
that was actually something I studied, and a lot of the shit I just start applying to the businesses that I run.
Awesome, awesome. I like that. So tell us about how is the strike, you know, in the industry, you know, the filming industry has a strike right now.
Right.
How is that affecting your business? Like, is it affecting your business?
So for me, because I work in a lot of different sectors, like, yes, I do the movies, but I also, you know, I started in music videos. So the music videos isn't affected at all. So I've kind of positioned myself to where, because I have my hand in different pots, I'm always going to be working regardless. So yeah, the movie side is definitely slowed down right now, and everybody's kind of waiting for the strike to be over with. But you can just pivot over and, you know, go shoot some music videos. And, you know, I do commercials as well. So I'm always finding something. And then I've got, you know, the Sprinter van business and the rental house. So
Yeah, multifaceted.
I'm a hustler. I'm gonna find a way to make some money.
Most definitely. So, okay, so we talked about the strike. So, how did you transition over from, you know, directing music videos and all of those great things, and then you switched over into the filming industry? You know, you just did Keisha Cole biopic with Lifetime. Like, kind of tell us more about that.
So a lot of it just came from, I have to give a shout out to James. Hold on, let me fix this real quick. He might be on the live real quick. But I gotta give a shout out to James over at Swirl Films. So he's kind of like,
James.
you know James?
Yeah.
So he kind of brought me into the movie space. He kind of saw what we were doing with the music videos, but it was more than just shooting music videos. Like, I was building a team and building a community. I was hiring, you know, I had an internship program where I was bringing in these young guys and kind of coaching them up, and then putting them like actually in the game on set shooting. And so he kind of saw more than just, you know, a videographer, that I was creating this community around me. So, and it's more of like the leadership qualities. I thought that he wanted to bring somebody in on their side where basically he could put me in place and know that I'm gonna get it done, and he doesn't have to micromanage me. You know what I'm saying? So he could go off, and because they're over there, they're doing like 5 movies or TV shows a month. You know what I'm saying? So like, he wants to go over here and focus on his TV shows, and like, yo, we got this movie, just go shoot some shit.
Yeah.
And so that's basically the first opportunity he gave me. Was a movie called Twisted House Sitter, which is on Tubi right now, so everybody can go watch that. But they brought me in, and he was basically like, look, man, like, I gotta go over here and go do some stuff. Like, I've seen what you've been doing for a while. He just basically, you know, gave me the budget. It was like, go make this movie. So I produced that and DP'd that. And it was a success for Tubi and for Mar Vista, which is the studio in LA that was kind of funding everything. And so from there, just kind of proving myself in that space, and then it just opened the door for the next, you know, 6 or 7 movies that we've done after that.
I mean, you were back to back with the movies.
Yeah.
I mean, the way you released, I was like, wow, he is working with
We were working.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, that's awesome. How do you feel like, you know, being, you know, a part of some amazing films, and just like, how do you feel, you know, coming from, because everybody knew you as a video production, but
the director.
And directing, but, you know, moving towards the film, like, how do you feel like from just doing both? Like,
it's dope because like music videos feeds my creative side, right? Like, that was the stuff that kept me up at night, because my first passion was music first. So a lot of people don't know that. I was singing, I was rapping, I was making beats, I was writing for other people. And I had got to a point where it was always a hobby of mine. I never was like, oh man, I'm gonna grow up and be a rapper. It was just like something I love to do. But once I got into the music video side, it was fueling that creative part of me, but it's also a lot of bullshit that can we cuss on this?
Yeah.
There's also a lot of bullshit that comes with music videos.
Yeah.
And that shit gets old after a while.
Right.
And so, and then there's also a ceiling there. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to a point where I felt like I had either done everything or I had seen everything that there is to see. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, my pinnacle was kind of like doing the BET Awards when we did Lil Baby and 42 Doug. So we directed like their opening act.
Yeah, that was crazy.
For the BET Awards. And so that was always like a thing for me, like trying to figure out a way to either get there or get involved with it. And once I got there, it was cool. I did some other stuff. We did the Jimmy Fallon show, but then it was kind of like, I feel like I've seen everything here. Like maybe I haven't won like a MTV award yet or nothing like that, but you know, I see other directors who are like at a high level, and it's like, it's cool, I could continue doing this, but it's kind of like if you climb to a mountain, right? But then you turn around and you see a bigger mountain over here.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, I want that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and that's the movies, that's the movie producers, that's the Marvels and all of that shit. So then it was like, all right, well, I finished this, let me find my next challenge. And so that was movies. And then there's a much bigger potential for growth and just even in finances, like it's a whole
level.
different ball game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So can you tell me, like, who are some of the people that you looked up to or look up to now that inspired you to become, you know, a director, you know, DP in the filming business?
So on the music video side, I'd say the first music video director that really inspired me was a guy named Colin Tilley, who was out in LA, and he was just like on top of the world for over a decade. Like in my mind, he was always like one of the top guys. And then obviously you've got the Hype Williams and stuff like that. Everybody knows those names, but Colin was the first guy to me that kind of like, when I was working my day job, I would come home and just watch music videos, and like I would write down videos that I thought were really dope. And then when I started doing more research, I realized that 90% of the videos that I loved were directed by Colin. So I was like, damn, this shit is dope. And then I just started like diving into it and then doing more research. So I would credit Colin with that. I also really like Joseph Kahn and Dave Meyers. They're both OGs, been around for a long time. They're probably like my top three. And then I would say on the... What was it? You said who else inspired me, like on the movie side?
Yeah.
So my favorite director on the movie side is Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
So he's done like Inception.
Yes.
He did The Dark Knight. He did the Oppenheimer movie that just came out. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was dope. But his movies it's more than just a spectacle. There's usually like levels to it. Like I like psychological movies that really make you think about shit outside of just the movie that you're watching.
Yes.
And so like Inception for me was like, yo, it's a dream inside of a dream and blah, blah, blah. Like all this crazy shit. So, or like you have to watch it multiple times and you'll catch stuff that you didn't see the first few times you watched it.
Yeah.
I like shit like that. So, I really like Christopher Nolan and, yeah, man. And then, you know, I've got, on the business side of things, I got my mentors, you know, shout out to Eric and James over at Swirl, you know what I'm saying? They've kind of been coaching me through a lot.
Amazing guys.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing. We got Dave, Motion Family is one of the guys that whenever I first got here, you know what I'm saying, they opened their arms to me as far as like getting me acclimated to like the Atlanta community when I got here. And they were one of the guys actually that before I moved here that I was kind of following them and I was inspired by them. So for them to be welcoming to me whenever I got here, that was really dope. And then I don't know if you know Dave over at Trey Native.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so Dave is also, you know what I'm saying, we've had a lot
we know a lot of same people.
Yeah, a lot of same people. So a lot of phone calls with Dave, you know what I'm saying, just giving me advice on just a lot of shit.
Yes.
So there's probably some more that I'm not thinking
That's
of.
awesome. I mean, you have some heavy hitters around you.
Yeah, they definitely been.
So tell me, okay, if you was to choose 3 of your top favorite movies, what would it be?
3 of the top favorite movies. So the first one that comes to mind is, I would say, The Matrix.
Okay.
Right? Because The Matrix at the time when it came out broke so many barriers as far as like visual effects and being innovative with shit that like had never been done before. Like, think about when you saw that bullet time scene when the
Yeah.
bullets are flying by him. Think about how many movies copied that shit after that, and everybody was trying to do bullet time slow
Yeah.
motion shit. And so they were trendsetters with that. And then also too, just the concept of it, of like the things around you, like not from a philosophical standpoint, it teaches you not to just accept the things that are in front of you, like thinking outside of the box, thinking, you know, what the things that might be in front of you might not actually be what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? And so I always thought that was dope. It's kind of goes hand in hand with, there's another movie called The Truman Show. You ever seen that, from Jim Carrey?
No, I haven't, but
it's a similar concept where it's like, you know what I'm saying, he grows up living his life normally, and then he finds out later that everything that he knows is constructed in this dome that has been built for him, and he thinks it's the world, but it's not. There's another world outside of that he didn't really know about. So
I need to go watch that.
yeah, it's dope. It'll start making you question like the shit around you, like, is this really real? Like, are y'all actors? Are y'all, you know what I'm saying? So Matrix, I
Last
think
one.
Oh yeah, and then I think Inception is probably up there too.
Okay, Inception. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we know that you are a mentor to other people, because you have mentors, but
Right.
you also mentor some people.
Right.
Like, kind of like, how do you what type of people do you have around you that you say, okay, I can take you on as a mentee?
Yeah, so I have a internship program where I bring in guys. You know, we meet probably every quarter, I would say. And we bring in these guys who have just reached out to me at some point during time. And really it's not like a structured like classroom where I sit down and like go through stuff. It's more hands-on. So they'll come on set, and they're helping us out, you know, moving stuff around, kind of doing like PA type work, but they're asking questions as they go along. They're watching and learning by, you know, whatever we're doing. But it's always like everything is optional. Like nothing is mandatory. You come as you please. I'll let you guys know when the shoots are, and then everything is on you. And I leave it that way on purpose because I don't want anybody to feel obligated, number one. And two, that's how you see the people who really want it. You know what I'm saying? Like if everything is optional and I'm not, you know what I'm saying, there's no requirements, the people who are hungry and really want that shit, they're the first ones there. They're the last ones to leave. They're attentive.
Oh, I know.
They're
Yes.
not on their phone. They're not in the corner trying to take pictures with 2 Chainz in the background so they can get all their likes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I can tell the difference between somebody who really wants that shit and somebody who's there for Instagram or
For the hype.
or it be people who think they slick, you know what I'm saying? Like they want to come in and get the sauce and see what I'm doing and then run off and try to copy it or do their own thing. And you know, that's part of the game. It's going to happen, but you know, I see all that shit.
Yes.
And it's unavoidable. So you kind of just have to take the bad with the good, and you kind of sift through people, and through that process, you'll find that diamond in the rough. And then, you know, I bring those guys in, and, you know, some of those guys are still with me today.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell us, like, okay, juggling, you know, being a entrepreneur, and then your businesses.
Right.
Kind of tell us some of the businesses that you have.
For sure. So Alpha Male Visuals is the production company where we're doing commercials, music videos, and films. We have Super Sprinters Atlanta, where we have like these Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans. They're tricked out on the inside where they look like limousines or like an executive coach or something like that. And so those are used for like, you know, weddings, airport pickup, when artists are going on tour or whenever they come in town, they want to travel with their team. I mean, there's a million different uses for it. And then the last is Atlanta Camera Rental, which is a rental house. So cameras, grip trucks, lights, pretty much everything that's needed to shoot a film, we provide all in-house. And so, you know, some of the advantage of using that, I mean, there's a million rental houses out there, right? But when someone calls me, because I have everything in-house, it's like you don't have to grab lights from over here and get your crew from over here. Like we pretty much provide everything full service, and all you have to do is talk to me, and then
That's awesome.
we hook it up for them.
You have some dope stuff going on.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So let's talk real estate, right?
Right.
So you just purchased your home, right?
I did.
So
last
is that
year.
your first purchase?
It is. So I bought my house last year, and then I'm hoping to buy my second one before the end of this year, but that'll be an investment property. So we'll either do like, I was thinking about Airbnb, but Airbnb is a lot of work.
Yeah.
As far as like trying to do turnover and all of it. And I don't really have time to do that. I could hire somebody for it, but I think from the people that I've been speaking with, I think doing rentals for like productions and stuff or events probably makes more sense. So, or just renting it out to a tenant. I'm not sure which route I'm gonna go yet, but that's the goal for sure.
Okay. So do you see yourself investing in, more homes or more properties and also commercial? Like, what do you see yourself in the future?
Yeah, so yeah, long term it is to have like multiple properties that are making a profit. I've done a lot of like anybody that I know that I look up to as rich, they all have real estate.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the one thing that everybody has in common.
Most
And so if
definitely.
that's something that you're working towards, real estate is going to be in your conversations at some point. And so, one of my mentors told me is like, yo, if you're trying to be successful, you're trying to be rich, like just do what the rich people do. Like they found out the formula. So whatever they're doing is working. Study them, figure out what they're doing and just, replicate that. So one of the things you always hear is like buy your assets to cover your liabilities.
Oh yeah.
So, but assets can be houses, it can be businesses, it can be something you're renting out. So eventually, yeah, like I want to have multiple, but I got all these other steps.
Yes, of course, of course. But I mean, being a homeowner is like the best thing ever.
It is.
I know,
It is.
but even though you did run into some issues,
Man.
so tell us a little bit about that too. I know I want to just kind of hop into that a little bit because we want to talk a little bit about real estate.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I want to just dive into like, being a homeowner, you have a lot of responsibilities.
Right.
So when you had that plumbing issue, how did that happen? Like what happened?
Man, so this was the last day that we were shooting the Keisha Cole movie. I'm literally on set. And my homie was there at the time. He called me and was like, yo, he sent me a video and the pipes like in the ceiling or it was something with the shower pan. With the shower is like on the top floor and I guess the shower pan had like busted or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but basically water was just spraying like all over the floor on like the main level. And it was like a freaking pool and I couldn't do nothing because I'm on set shooting, so like it had to sit. And then I called the insurance. I called Nationwide, but it was like right before there was like a holiday. I want to say it was like Thanksgiving or something like that. But they couldn't come out until like 3 days later.
Man.
So it was just like water damage everywhere. But it actually ended up being a blessing in disguise because the home insurance basically covered everything. And then, I had some contractors that hooked me up with some prices, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I actually renovated the house and increased the value of it by, replacing the floors.
That's awesome.
Got a whole new bathroom, whole new shower, you know what I'm saying? And, man, maybe I shouldn't say that because Nationwide might be watching.
It's all good. It's
But,
all good.
there was a little finessing in there.
Hey,
But we made it work.
A lot of people do it. So,
Yeah.
But at least you have value. Like
Yeah.
okay.
And it appreciated from that. So it was dope.
Of course, yeah. Well, I want to just tell you, first I want to ask you too, before we wrap this up, I want to ask you, what can you give, what kind of advice can you give or tips can you give to, young entrepreneurs or people that are trying to enter the filming industry or the music video industry? Like, what kind of advice or tips can you give to them?
Man, it's a long uphill battle. I'm gonna look at one of these cameras right here, but understand that this is not some shit that like just happens overnight. And I know that sounds cliche, but really like number one, I would say this industry is being successful in this industry. Like 30% of it is you being talented at what you do and being great at what you do. The other 70% is your relationships, it's politics, it's being in the right place at the right time, it's being kind of like in the mix and being the person that people will call for certain situations and certain things that come up. And a lot of times people put so much pressure on trying to be great. Look, I know directors who are trash. Like the videos they put out are trash, but because of the relationships that they have and like being friends with certain people and all the politics of the industry, you know what I'm saying, they're working and they're making a lot of money and they're whatever. And people sometimes think that like the people who are the best are the ones who are going to be the most successful and at the top. And it's really not that. You know what I'm saying?
It's not.
So it's like, yes, when you're starting out, work on your craft, perfect your craft. But once you get good, the other side of it that you have to treat like a job is going to these events and, you know, meeting the execs and, you know, networking.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge part of it. And then once you get to a certain point, it's learning to work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
And that comes in a variety of different ways, whether it's, you know, putting a team together where you're going to have to pay people out now. You might not make as much at first, but it's freeing up your time.
Yes.
And now you have more time to go out and find new clients or go to that dinner with the music exec to be able to build, you know, a better relationship that's going to lead to something else. Like everything that you're doing is planting seeds.
Yes.
So you want to plant those as many seeds as possible in many places as possible, and then you don't know when those seeds are going to grow. You know, I have seeds that are sprouting now from niggas I met 8 years ago and didn't talk to them again until now, but they, you know what I'm saying, they were following me on Instagram, they seen what I was doing, and they finally had an opportunity that would benefit both of us, and they would call me, and then, you know what I'm saying, and now it turns into a project or some money or whatever. So
I like that.
you gotta keep planning.
I like building the relationships. That's
100%.
very, very, very important. And I mean, you have given a lot of people opportunities. You've even given me opportunities.
For sure.
So I mean, I say you are a blessing to a lot of people.
Thank
and
you.
that's very powerful. That's very, very powerful. And I mean, kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
But we love you. We appreciate you.
For sure.
And I would love to give you a bottle of Elliot.
Yeah, I need that. The blue.
That's just to show you our appreciation, and we appreciate you for coming on our show.
I appreciate you, Summer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hey.
All right, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.